concerns you, and that which concerns you, the Lord is saying, also concerns me. And He is promising you, fear not. That is what He is telling us this morning. Fear not. So that means that there is a tendency of us fearing when we go through situations. When we face circumstances, there is a tendency of us fearing. But the Lord is reminding us that we should not fear. For the promise, I love the promise that He is giving us, that I am with you. You know, the King of Kings is telling you that I am with you. And He says, when you walk through the waters, I will be with you. When you are walking through the fires, I will not forsake you. I have not forgotten you. And what an assurance that even when everything and everyone else has forgotten about you, when everyone else is thinking about themselves, me, myself, and I, there is one who is telling you, you know what, my son? I got you. You know what, my daughter? I am with you. In that circumstance that you are going through, I am with you. It may, it may feel as if you are alone. It may feel as if you have been forgotten. Yes, men may have forgotten about you. Even those that you call siblings, even those that you thought are close buddies, they may have forgotten about you. They may not even be able to know what you are experiencing. But the Lord is telling you that I am with you. In whatever that you are experiencing, the Lord is telling you, I am here and I am with you. He also goes ahead and says, be not dismayed. Hallelujah. So He's saying, despite what you are going through, despite that pain, despite that sickness, despite that patch that you are experiencing currently in your relationship, in your marriage, in your dating, He's saying, do not be dismayed, for I am your God. Hallelujah. How assuring that in every circumstance and in every situation, you still can be able to count on this God. And He promises that I will strengthen you. Yes, you may be feeling weary. You may be feeling as if you are about to throw in the towel. You are about to give in, and rather to give up. But the Lord is saying, you know what, my son? You know what, my daughter? Don't be dismayed. I will strengthen you. So wait upon the Lord. Look unto Him, for He is able to strengthen you. I will help you. Yes, I will help you. The Lord is promising you help that comes from above. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Bwana asifiwe. So in whatever situation that you are experiencing, in whatever circumstance that you are facing, just know that the Lord is promising to hold you by His righteous right hand. So this morning, as you go about your business, this morning as you are venturing out, this morning as you are starting this new month of December, just forget about the last 11 months. They may have brought pain. They may have brought disharmony. They may have brought all sorts of attacks into your life. But this morning, open a new chapter. A new lease of life is coming your way. For the Lord is telling you, fear not, for I am with you. So thank you so very much. And remember, continue engaging with us on 0708 222 323. That is on WhatsApp. On SMS, it is 20933. And we will be engaging with you as we continue with the show. This is Hope at Dawn, right here on Hope TV, where you look and live with me, George Gishoro.
Somebody, even if people can turn their backs on you, but He promised never to leave you, promised never to forsake you. He'll always be there. Oh, how I love Thee. I love Come on, man. Come on, sing.
I love him.
Come on, come on.
He cares.
Tell him, tell him. I love
Oh, how I love him because he first loved me.
you. Come on, let me hear the choir. Everybody sing. Come on, precious. Say it again. Come on. Come on, say it again. Everybody, everybody. Tell him how much you love him. This is why I love him. Tell him, come on. Everybody, come on, sing. Come on. Ukuthula kwami kuwe Jehova wena siphephelo sami kuwe ungumelusi wami hey wena ukuthula kwami bless you kuwe hey ungumthokozisi wena ukuphila kwami hey kuwe bless you ugenzelo kude Shalom, 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 shalom. Uwe Shaddai Adonai, uwe. Umuthokozisi. Wena. I bless you. Ukuphila kwami. Uwe. Bless you. Ugenzelo kude. Shalom, 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 shalom. Uwe Shaddai Adonai, uwe. Oh God. El Shaddai Adonai. I bless you over there. I bless you. El Shaddai Adonai. I bless you too over there. I bless you. El Shaddai Adonai. Kuwe El Shaddai Adonai.
Hope TV is where you look and live. with an excellent selection of the best Christian programming consisting of local and international content of inspirational stories, talk shows, Bible commentary, youth, health shows, children entertainment, contemporary gospel music, extended times of worship, live broadcast, news, movies, drama, Christian ministry programs, and so much more. Hope TV is another quality service from Christ is the Answer Ministries with over 45% of authentic and credible local content every week. Hope TV is a sister station to Hope FM, Kenya's leading Christian radio station with footprints across the country. Tune in to Hope TV, where you look and live.
And welcome back to Hope at Dawn. It's the Friday edition, the first day of December 2023. Always excited to host you on Hope at Dawn. And actually, this is our second episode, and we thank you so very much for your support thus far. It's now time for the newspaper review, and to help us navigate this newspaper review, we have the sub-editor, that is the business and sports sub-editor at Hope Media Kenya, and none other than Mr. Maingi Mbogwa. You have heard him, you have watched him on Hope TV as well, and he's joining us on set to help us navigate the newspaper review. Good morning, my brother.
Good morning to you, Sir George.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me on board.
What's
really
happening?
Excited.
Karibu sana. And straight to it, we are looking at the dailies this morning and what's being reported. The Standard, I have the Standard with me, and the headline reads, Hits and Misses of Ruto's Pet Project. And once I saw that, I was asking myself, which is this pet project? Because he had a number. Then they specified that it is the Hustler Fund. Ruto's message that raised the hopes and aspirations. The hustlers saw him clinch the presidency. 1 year after the Hustler Fund was started, President is still hopeful it will solve their problems. And it was 1 year anniversary yesterday. And what would you say are the hits and the misses as per the Standard?
Well, I think one of the things we need to be very honest with ourselves on when it comes to the Hustler Fund is money is being released.
Yes.
And we are very excited because of the savings. But nobody is raising the big question of the defaulters. You know?
Also, those guys who were able to borrow, but they decided this is after all our money.
Exactly.
So,
and also, it's a fund that is coming at a time when the country is really having a very bad time when it comes to financial crisis and, of course, the high cost of living.
Yeah.
And one would not afford not to ask whether this amount that people are actually getting, is it really used for development or to meet needs? Again, the limits of the Hustler Fund, currently the highest is 6,000 shillings.
yeah.
And his target is small, medium enterprises. How much can 6,000 be able to boost you with the current space that we're having? So there's a lot to ask. However, the one part that one would be excited about the Hustler Fund is the saving.
Yeah.
With also another tied note of asking, how do we get to raise the question of where is this money? If today George wants the savings, can he be able to access the savings? So it is a good project. However, 1 year down the line, it has a lot of loops. And I'm hoping that the government, through the Ministry of SMEs, through the presidency, will be able to look at it and be able to attend to such gaps.
All right. And I saw here, President says some 1.2 million Kenyans will, by this morning, have a matching fund in their accounts. He reveals 40 billion has circulated among 19 million Kenyans who have repaid their loans. That is on page 2 and page 3. Hustler Fund misses promised 50 billion shillings mark. The fund has advanced 39.5 billion to over 19 million Kenyans, but loan amounts and short repayment periods are limiting for many borrowers. So you can read that on page 2 and 3. On page 8, more parents move to court over KCPE. Parents dissatisfied with their children's exam results trooping to court asking for results to be checked afresh amid claims NEC dropped the ball. That's a story on page 8. And I can see Moi Primary Kabarak parents have disputed KCPE results and they have sued NEC. I also see Kitengela International School and Set Green Hill Academy have also gone to court. There have been claims of massive irregularities in the just released KCPE results, and I wonder how this one will pan out, because was it yesterday or the day before, the court actually allowing the Form 1 selection to proceed. So in a way, if the Form 1 selection process proceeds as planned, then I think it will be a case of too little too late for the parents and the schools that have taken NEC to court.
Yes, and this is coming at a time that the members of parliament, MPs, last evening summoned the CS, Ezekiel Machogu, Education, and of course the leadership of NEC, that is the Kenya National Examination Council.
Yeah.
But of course, one of the questions many would live to ask is that the intensity that the national exams comes with, why on earth would there be such a lapse when it comes to the communication, when it comes to addressing the issues, and third of all, this is a process that takes a whole year to be conducted for like 3 days. So the whole year, preparations have to be beefed up. But then there is a lapse somewhere that at this one, NEC has no better reason to tell but to come out and be able to clear the airwaves on how on earth did this go. However, the Form 1 selection has continued from Monday. Today is Today is Thursday. 3 days, 4 days down the line, one would not afford to ask, in an event you have a query that is notable and you've been placed to a school because of your performance marks, how then this will be coming out. But it's a case of wait and see, man.
But also there are some who are asking this question. Did we really need to rush the marking and also the release of the exams? Because they are saying we had ample time, because why the rush? You know, and I sort of agree with them. Why the rush? Why not be prudent enough to ensure that everything from the marking to sort of even remarking and checking everything is okay, so that by the time we are releasing these results, it is well acceptable and there is no room for any irregularities or any mishaps, so that we avoid a situation that we also find ourselves in.
Yes, and worth noting is that between now and January, we have like a whole month.
Exactly.
So we might not have been able to go by the law of the 90 days, but at least we had a 30 days gap.
Yes.
That would have really helped us be able to address all these issues, because they are not just issues, but tangible issues. Parents have come out with tangible evidence that, yes, this is not what we really expected. But wait and see what will happen next week when Machogu shows up in Parliament, and of course when NEC shows up to really clear the airwaves or not really pound out on this one.
All right, we can have the Daily Nation.
Yes, of course, from the Daily Nation, the biggest headline is the referendum. Ruto allies tell of Raila Odinga. This follows the National Dialogue Committee report that was released last weekend. And of course, Azimio la Umoja leadership under Raila Odinga and Kalonzo Musyoka, Martha Karua are calling for a referendum for us to be able to vote on the various issues that have been presented through the National Dialogue Committee. But of course, the government through the Kenya Kwanza administration is adamant that no referendum. But of course, questions arise from this one, because some of the issues that are being brought, the enshrining of the office of the opposition, the enshrining of the cabinet, the prime cabinet secretary's office, these are things that are supposed to be entrenched in the constitution. And as such, they have to be submitted to the referendum. But one cannot afford to ask, why then the change of tune? Who is actually playing smarter on the other? Because you cannot tell us that this is what we've agreed. But later on, you're like, for us to actualize it, we have to do this. But then you're telling us we're not going to do this.
Are we going to have another, what the people are calling it, BBI2, because you remember BBI1 flopped, thanks of course to the courts. But now this one, again, they are saying unless otherwise, it could follow the same trajectory, because they are saying it's again initiated by those in power and everything. And remember, when BBI1 flopped, it was because it was not, as they call it, Wanjiko driven. So will this pass the mark as enshrined by the law, and also as directed by the courts then?
Yes, and also the other question that many would be asking, especially political pundits, is could it be that William Ruto was actually agreeing to this one to try and contain Raila Odinga's political heat? Because again, if we've reached to this point, then definitely for us to be able to actualize the very report, then a referendum is the way to go, because you cannot just go legally. Much as the member of parliaments from Kenya Kwanza are saying that let's take this one to the parliament. Because again, in parliament, Kenya Kwanza has more members. They are the majority. So as such, you're expecting maybe still some of these recommendations to fall in the House.
All right, let's wait and see.
It's a case of wait and see. The other headline is Murkomen orders agency to crack down on illegal PSVs. This follows yesterday's remark from Transport Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen, who's now saying that George Gishuru, Prince Charles and co are out here using their private vehicles as PSVs.
But and I have questions. When I heard that, I was asking myself, so I have my vehicle.
Yes.
We have decided with my neighbors, because of the high cost of fuel and everything, why not carpool? So this week we can decide we are using GG's vehicle. So what happens when police flag us down on our way to work? And of course my car is full, and they now decide to say, you know what, young man, we feel you are using your private vehicle as a public vehicle. So how and where do we draw the line? Because after all, this is my vehicle, we have agreed. It's not actually, I'm not using it as a PSV. So where do we draw the line?
How don't you use it as a PSV? A public service vehicle is what type of a vehicle?
You see, that is the definition I want the government to tell us, because my car has like, 5 seats, right?
I think one of the things that we need to be very open to is the gaps that we have in this one. Because today Joseph Maingi is having, let's say, a Nissan, which he's now using to ferry children in school. 1, 2, 3, 4 days.
Yes.
That car is not a private vehicle anymore.
No, that one is not a private. I don't have an issue with that, because that's a commercial vehicle.
Now, that's why I want to take you slowly on this one. Because then the next question we need to ask ourselves
is,
how do I tell that George is using it today alone? He's not been using it yesterday. And then the third question, which is the contentious question, in an event of an accident, and God forbid, in an event of an accident, one cannot afford to ask, how then do we come up when it comes to insurance?
I may be a greenhorn on this topic in terms of insurance and everything, but my vehicle is insured.
Yes.
So how many people are insured?
If it's a comprehensive, it's everyone in the car. 4 people max.
Exactly. So in case, as you're saying, of an accident, my car is insured. So the insurance will take care of whatever happens, including all those people who are on board. So the issue of insurance here doesn't arise. So the only issue I may be having, if it is, what is it called, overcrowded.
Yes.
And we don't, there are some people who are not seated the way they're supposed to have been seated, then that's a different case. But on this one, again, I feel there is a gap, and it's another channel that you are opening up for traffic officers to abuse this directive.
I think one of the things that has always been perennial in this country is that every other given time we have a loop or a gap when it comes to legal issues, then that's where injustice thrives. So my hope and prayer is that, one, Kipchumba Murkomen and the National Transport and Safety Authority, NTSA, will be able to address this one and address it amicably for us to be able to understand who are these being targeted on this.
All right. Allow me to go to the sports pages inside the Standard, and some good news out of some football. You know, rarely do you get good news from Stars, football, especially Kenyan football, but some good news here. Juniors Stars seek to keep unbeaten run as Somalia Somalia come calling. Salim Babu's boys hope to finish top of Sekafa Group. Uganda, Tanzania, Zanzibar, and South Sudan's Group B battle to go to the wire. So those are the matches in the ongoing Council of East and Central Africa Football Association Sekafa Under-18 Championships, which comes to an end. That is the group matches at Buhungu Stadium. Kenya already booked their ticket to the semi-finals of the regional showpiece on Tuesday after seeing off Rwanda 1-0 at the Jomo Kenyatta Stadium in Kisumu. So they finalized their group matches against the, should I call them Minos, Somalia, today. Today's other matches, Sudan will be taking on Rwanda, and tomorrow Uganda will be taking on South Sudan. Zanzibar will be taking on Tanzania. And the winner of the final matches tomorrow will qualify for the semi-finals. Remember, Uganda will play Zanzibar while South Sudan will be facing Tanzania. Good news there.
Big time good news.
Yeah.
Maybe remaining with football and still national soccer team.
Yeah.
This is as far as Harambee Starlets is concerned. These are the women's soccer team. They played on Wednesday.
Yes.
And in a game of what you'd call intensity, tail end, it ended up 1-1, courtesy of Kenya and Botswana, and therefore the second leg is coming in next week.
Yeah.
And Maini, led by the head coach Beldino Demba, are saying, you know what, we still believe going to Gaborone will definitely win this one.
It ended in a 1-0 draw.
Yes,
but
1-0
I saw the Starlets. They created so many chances, but they were not clinical in front of goal. So we are hopeful that when they go to Gaborone, they will be able to convert those chances into goals.
Sure.
Never a dull moment, of course, when it comes to Kenyan sports, and this time round it comes in the shape of rugby. Because they're saying here inside the Standard, title thirst persists after Shujaa Dubai trip aborts. Kenya was scheduled to travel yesterday to Dubai. Wambua upbeat Shujaa will come back with the goodies, but now their chances to step up their preparations for the 2024 Challenger Series failed as they aborted in as far as traveling is concerned.
Yes.
Nini?
Well, the latest is that from Kenya Rugby Union is under the leadership of one Sasha Mutai, one man who promises and promises big.
Yeah.
He had promised that, you know what, we're going to use the Dubai Invitation International Tournament for the readiness for the recharge. The recharge is definitely the action for build-up as you push yourself to recover the top spot for playing in the HSBC World Series.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there was another gap here, and the gap was between KRU and the government. One was supposed to pay for the trip.
Yeah.
The players had actually gotten the visas and everything. So the only thing that was remaining was the ticket.
Yeah.
And therefore, the report that is coming is that, unfortunately, the money was not released as of yesterday, 7 p.m. in the evening.
And actually, the traveling also affected, as per the Standard, the Kenya Lionesses as well, because they also lost a chance to play Ireland Invitational, USA Falcons, Rhinos, Trompers, and French Militaire Sevens in Group B. Lionesses lost both the Africa Sevens title and the Safari Sevens title in their last two outings. So not only are the men's team affected, but also the women's team affected. What I don't know. What can we do when it comes to sports in this nation?
You can only
because
hope
the talents are there.
You can only hope for
that. For me is what pains me the most. You know, just say I wish we were struggling in as far as getting talents, getting a team is concerned. But when you look at the abundance of talent in this nation, may it be in football, look at the Starlets, look at the junior stars, look at even Harambee Stars. Well, they at times give you false hopes, but they are somewhere. Look at the volleyball. The Malkia Strikers, the Kenya Morans in terms of basketball. But now when it comes now to us, let me say us as Kenyans now supporting the teams, it's a lot to be desired.
I think one of the things that we'll continue to call and push for is corporate, because sometimes the budget allocation when it comes to sporting action is very minimal.
Yeah.
And Kenya is more of becoming now a bad where we are having so much. Right now we're having the Olympic qualifiers, you're having basketball, you're having taekwondo, you're having hockey. Everyone is out, and I can bet that the budget allocation from the government one too many times has fallen short.
Yeah.
And therefore, it would be best if the corporates can come in. And also if the unions can actually reach out to the corporates.
How are you asking the
And reach
corporates?
out
How are you
with
asking the
integrity.
corporates to come in? Yet there are some federations, there are some unions that are briefcase, sort of, so that Maingi here owns this federation, and he doesn't want to relinquish. So you keep on holding on to this. So there's no accountability, there's no transparency, there's no openness in as far as management of that federation, that union is concerned. How do you expect a corporate to come and pump in the money without all sorts of accountability?
You know, when you raise that question, it leaves so much to ask, because when you read the Daily Nation today, Namwamba, 1.6 billion shillings KBC sponsorship for local league, a game changer. Now, the national broadcaster KBC has landed a deal with Azam TV to be able to be broadcasting to us the Football Kenya Premier League. Now, the question is, 1.6 billion shillings. How safe is the money?
Yeah.
It's a case of wait and see. However,
Yeah.
football lovers in the country have an opportunity to now enjoy the best football action when it comes to the local league.
Yeah.
This is because of that signing of some serious amount. And this money will be provided with 240 million for a start, and a guarantee that each team will get a minimum of 10 million shillings. So at least the teams are secured.
Yeah.
And therefore, no reason for you to abscond a game.
All right.
At least, and also paying the money.
All right.
Talking of money, Manchester United. What's not happening, Joe?
I have the
They have to
standard.
wait until you join the TV.
You know the standard, also they are having the same in as far as Man United is concerned.
Yeah.
But of course I can tell clearly the writer of this story either is a Liverpool, Arsenal or a Chelsea fan, because they say Man United all back but can't bite. A hat-trick of 3-goal games on their travels has brought just 1 point for Man United. Teams that top their standings are seeded in the round of 16 draw on December 18. And this one, the reason why it's paining is, how do you score 3 goals away at Bayern? How do you score 3 goals away at Copenhagen? How do you score 3 goals away at Galatasaray? And out of those 3 matches, you don't win even a single match.
I think I have the answer.
What's the answer?
The very same way you had led 3-0, only to draw 3-3. It's the only way. However, Man U on the blink of Champions League exit has Arsenal into the last.
Yeah.
So that's the worst part.
No, it's not the worst. For me, actually, I'm hoping for Man United. If they don't qualify for the Champions League next round, finish 4th. Don't dare finish 3rd and go to Thursday football. So it's either you finish 2nd or 4th. No 3rd. It's either we are in Europe or we are out.
George, the fate is no longer in your hands. This is because, are you going to beat Bayern?
We are Man United. What do you mean?
Oh yeah, the same Man United that does not, that cannot be.
Prince is throwing hands inside the studio. Anyway, for Arsenal, they were on a roll as well.
Are they a good team now? As a nemesis for Arsenal, what's your take? Are they a good team? Are they a good contender?
They are a good team.
Are they winning anything?
This is Arsenal at the end of the day. Yeah. So at the tail end,
Then,
at the tail end, when it matters the most is when they crumble. So that's one. Then number 2, who they are facing in terms of when you look at the EPL, there is this gigantic blue wall by the name of Manchester City. When you go to Europe, of course, Arsenal, they are still minus, if you ask me. They are yet to win the Champions League. So we wait and see. But maybe this could be their season. You know, every season for Arsenal is our season.
Well, I think for me, the only problem that I would talk about Arsenal is, and I think it's a problem that most of these teams are having, is the inconsistency. When you look at Pep Guardiola and Manchester City, when they go out, whether they're playing the Sharks of Kariobangi or George Gishoro's United, or Mathare in this
the seriousness
of every other game. And you find that Arsenal would turn up on a big game, but the same Arsenal will lose on a small game. The same case happens with the likes of Chelsea, United, Tottenham Hotspur. And for me, I think for Mikel Arteta, for him to win anything this season, he ought to take every game with the seriousness it deserves. They were able to beat Lens in the UEFA Champions League, 6 on the run. Our hope and prayer is that Arsenal will also be on the roll over the weekend as they get back to the EPL.
A question.
Yes.
Where are Chelsea?
In other news, Valencia Marathon is happening this weekend. And after living in the shadows of major marathons,
All right.
Valencia Marathon is fast to start on the course, and it will be on this weekend. We're
All right.
hoping to see Kenyans reigning sovereign and supreme. See how best I did that.
All right, I saw you decided. But all good, Mr. Maingi.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much.
You're most welcome,
And
Saka.
how can we listen to news? I hear you are on news this morning as well.
Yes, you can catch up our latest live updates
Yes.
every hour on Hope FM here in Nairobi 93.3. Every top of the hour as we bring you real time, up to speed, comprehensive, and update news every hour. You can also catch up our live bulletins at 7 p.m. on Dira, Hope TV, and Newswatch at 9 p.m. as we give you the latest that happens in and around the world.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so very much, Mr.
Karibu sana.
Maingi. And talking of Hope FM, this is the station where you listen and live, and you can listen across the nation, across the world as well on hopemediakenya.org. And tonight, there is something special that is happening on Hope FM tonight. That is
Absolutely.
from 10 p.m. all the way to 5 a.m. And it is the Hope on Air Kesha, and this is the Thanksgiving Hope on Air Kesha that will be happening tonight. So you have every reason to tune in to Hope FM, this being the station where you listen and live. I'm looking forward, Joseph, also to be to have you on air tonight.
I think it's one of my favorite
Yeah?
moments where we just take time and thank God,
Amen.
take time and take stock,
Yes.
and see the faithfulness of God
Amen.
as a people, as families, as a country, as individuals,
Yes.
because thus far the Lord has been with us. Therefore, join us tonight on Hope FM 93.3 here in Nairobi and enjoy a live moment as we pray, as we thank God, as we enjoy the best that is in the land
Yeah.
on the faithfulness of God.
Before I allow you to go, Joseph,
Yep.
we are having a guest in the next hour, and we are having our Friday conversation, and we are asking ourselves this morning, should gospel artists be compensated for their craft in church?
Well, I'm loving the part that you said craft. Because if you say that gift,
Yes.
I'll say you don't charge the giver of your gift. But if it's a craft,
Yeah.
a craft ought to be appreciated. But my point is on this one.
Yes.
I have lived for over 30 years in life.
Are you that old?
I was responding to your question, George. And one of the things that I've learned is that providence is beyond what you can receive physically. You know, there is an authority that provides more and beyond. I am a sum total of what God was gracious enough to give,
Yeah.
not what men were rightful to pay.
Wow.
There are times and again you'll be paid and you'll feel like these people have played me short.
Yeah.
But there's one who is a just one, who rewards with no favorism. So for me, I would want to challenge everyone who serves. If you're out to serve,
Yeah.
appreciation comes from God. Amen. But if you're coming out to work, work is carnal.
Yeah.
That's the other thing people need to understand. But service is eternal. So that one, I think we need to get it right.
Yeah.
So as you're coming to work, if you're coming to work at CITAM,
Yeah.
as a sound tech, as a musician, ask yourself, are you coming to serve or to work?
All right.
Service is of God. Work is of men. So if it's work will be paid by men.
My friend.
Yes.
You can be that deep. Thank you.
Depends.
Thank you so very much. And that is the conversation we'll be having in the next hour with our guest in studio. And also, we are seeking your input on the same. Should gospel artists be compensated for church service? 20933 is the SMS line. And also, you can get us on WhatsApp 0708 222 323. We'll be back after this short break.
Thank you for watching Hope TV, the station where you look and live. For feedback regarding our programming, you can WhatsApp us through 0708 222 323, SMS 22232, website www.hopemediakenya.org, or scan the QR code below.
Hope TV is where you look and live, with an excellent selection of the best Christian programming consisting of local and international content of inspirational stories, talk shows, Bible commentary, youth, health shows, children entertainment, contemporary gospel music, extended times of worship, live broadcast, news, movies, drama, Christian ministry programs, and so much more. Hope TV is another quality service from Christ is the Answer Ministries with over 45% of authentic and credible local content every week. Hope TV is a sister station to Hope FM, Kenya's leading Christian radio station with footprints across the country. Tune in to Hope TV, where you look and live.
Umenipitisha kwenye maji mengi, katikati ya bonde la mauti. Wengi walisema nimefika mwisho, wanataharuki kuniona tena. Umenipitisha kwenye maji mengi, katikati ya bonde la mauti. Wengi walisema nimefika mwisho, wanataharuki kuniona tena.
Tunakumbuka fadhili zako, tunakumbuka rehema zako, kwa yote umefanya Bwana, tumekuja kukupa sifa zote. Tunakumbuka fadhili zako, tunakumbuka rehema zako, kwa yote umefanya
Tumekuja kama gani, mwambie tena. Tunakumbuka fadhili Ramasoba Kada. Kwa yote Bwana,
umenipitisha kwenye maji mengi, katikati ya bonde la mauti. Wengi walisema nimefika mwisho, wanataharuki kuniona tena. Umenipitisha kwenye maji mengi, katikati ya bonde la mauti. Wengi walisema nimefika mwisho, wanataharuki kuniona. Ninakumbuka Bwana siku zote, rehema Bwana kwa yote Bwana, ninakuja sifa zangu, ninakumbuka fadhili zako Bwana wewe.
of Jesus. 1, 2. Yeah. Come on. Bado watu hawajaelewa kitu tunacheza. We rotate again. One more time. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Hallelujah. Celebrate Jesus. Yeah. One more time. We do one more time. Jump. Hallelujah. Oh, tunakumbuka zako Bwana uliotenda maishani zako kwa yote Bwana maishani nimekuja sifa za moyo ninakumbuka Bwana hakuna jua ila wewe zako Bwana kwa yote Bwana tumekuja nataka muimbe kanisa tunakumbuka kwa yote tume sauti ya kwanza peke yenu sauti ya pili kwa yote sauti ya tatu sauti zote go zako tuna kwa yote nyosha tu mikono yako mwambie Bwana nakumbuka fadhili zako. Ranasia katoba hasa kama bado hujaona Bwana Yesu kwa sababu umemwimbia hivi tunakumbuka mwambie tu
Ready to turn your entrepreneurial dreams into reality? Join us at the Nairobi Youth Business Forum on December 1st and 2nd at Seatam Valley Road. Dive into dynamic training sessions on Friday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. to empower your business skills. Engage in a riveting Q&A and elevator pitch session with industry icons Samson Baptist and Reverend Gitau Muchugia on Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. and win seed capital. Climax the experience with a mesmerizing music concert on Saturday from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. featuring Street Praise Worship Team, Eugene Blessing, Jay Park, Bella Combo from Tanzania, and more. Concert tickets are just 1,000 Kenya shillings. For more information, call 0710-842-794.
Welcome back to Hope at Dawn. It's now exactly 8 a.m. East African time. Thank you so very much for your company this beautiful Friday morning. And that was actually our video of the day. It was by none other than Daktari Mwenyewe, Daktari Ipiana, all the way from Tanzania. And the title of the song is Tunakumbuka, and how appropriate, especially this first day of December 2023. We are here to reflect. We are here to give thanks to the Lord as we remember of the many things that he has done for us, of the blessings, of the protection, of the many things and the valleys and the mountains that he has protected us as we navigated from the month of January all through to the month of November. As we enter into the last month, we are careful to remember of the doings of the Lord. And the song says, tunakumbuka fadhili zako, tunakumbuka rehema zako, kwa yote umefanya Bwana, tumekuja kukupa sifa zote. And that was the video of the day, courtesy of Dr. Ipiana. As we enter into the last hour of the show, Hope at Dawn, we have, and of course we have been telling you about our conversation of the day, and to help us navigate this conversation is none other than a good friend of ours. And we appreciate him for his time. And in studio already to help us with the same is none other than Barton King. Help me in welcoming our guest this morning, Barton King. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Karibu sana.
Thank you so much.
And it's good to have you this morning.
Yes,
on
I'm here.
Hope at Dawn.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'm grateful also just to come and be able to share with the people of God. It's always a pleasure.
Amen.
And a great opportunity just to share with the people.
Amen.
So I don't take it for granted. I'm very grateful this morning.
Yeah, man.
And I'm looking forward to a great time here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Looking forward as well to an awesome time. And of course, first things first, we would love to get to know who is Barton King.
Yeah. You know, my introduction is very short because I don't have many times.
All right.
I'm simply Barton King.
Yes.
I'm a worship leader.
Okay.
First, because that's what I've been called. And I'm also the LD of the International Worship Ministry. It's a ministry for young people, worship, mentorship, events, the training into ministry. Basically, that's
And I want to pick it from where you have said you do something to do with worship. You are the MD of this worship entity. And young people, this is a misconception. It's not a fact that young people are not into, worship and all. What would you say about that?
We definitely have those who are not into worship.
Yeah.
Then we also have those who have gotten the revelation.
Yes.
Because worship is a revelation. It is, you come to a place of understanding.
Yes.
And then when you start to worship, you realize your life is never the same.
Yeah.
And so we have those who we are still working to bringing them into the kingdom, but we also have those who are very serious with worship. If you look around, especially in Nairobi nowadays, I can see there is a kind of revival in the hearts of especially young people. Even the kind of music they are listening to right now. Remember, sometimes back we would hear songs, very funny songs, even that used to be classified as gospel, but they're just very funny songs. But nowadays, if you sing such songs, nobody will listen to you. Meaning we have young people who have gotten the revelation of what worship is and actually coming up very strongly into worship, yes.
Yeah. Maybe there's something we don't know about Barton King. We think, sure who you are. There's something we don't know about you.
Yes.
What could that be?
I really don't know what you don't know about me. Because, I've shared so many things about myself.
Yeah.
Maybe one thing that I've not put into public, I don't know, that could be very personal, is that I'm a very good cook.
all
That's
right.
what you might not know, but the others,
Yeah.
you definitely know.
Yeah, you're a fantastic
Yeah,
cook.
I love cooking. I don't like eating, but I love cooking.
Ah.
Yes.
Ah, awesome. Now at least we know one thing we didn't know about Baton King. Now,
Yes.
tell us about your musical journey, how it began and how it is progressing.
This is a journey I never planned for. It's something that I never ever imagined that I would be a musician.
All right.
I was very good in languages in school, in Swahili and English.
Yeah.
So my teacher used to encourage me to telling me that you need to work very hard. You're going to be a lawyer or a journalist.
Yeah.
Actually, what you're doing now is what was my dream.
That was your dream.
job, yes.
Not late.
But yeah, sure enough.
Yeah.
But the events that occurred in my life, the things that came up, I'm born to a single mother. My mom was single, and my father, my grandfather, now her father, was like the father figure in my life. So when I we used to stay here in Spring Valley, nice places. My mom was a house help. She used to work for some Zungu, so we would move. We didn't have the capacity, the capacity to stay in those places. But now, because of the work that she was doing, we would move along those the bosses. And so we used to stay in Spring Valley, Muthaiga, General Madenge, Westlands, Loresho.
Yeah. Posh places.
Yes, and life was so good.
Yeah.
But then when I got to Form 2,
Yeah.
my grandfather had been sick since when I was in Form 1. So in Form 2, around June, he passed on. Was like my father figure. So we met at the funeral. My mom was there. She was crying, you are the father to my children and what have you. So we actually conducted the funeral. We buried him. Then we went back to our normal lives. I went back to school. My mom came back to work. Then I was in the school choir. I went to Viga High School. So I was in the school choir, and then we did up to the music festivals up to the national levels. So I came to Nairobi for the national levels in music. So when we finished, of course, I went home. We used to stay in Loresho those days.
Yeah.
So when I came home, I found my mom preparing to go to work. And then she was like, okay, she went to work, came back in the afternoon. She was like, I have a headache, small migraine and what have you. So she took some medicine. She went back. The second day, it was not subsiding. The third day, it was now worse. At the headache, she was crying, my head. Yeah. And so the third day, she could not be able to wake up. So we now realized it was serious.
Serious, yeah.
And so my aunt came along, we took her to the hospital. They said she was suffering from typhoid. But then when she came back, her boss was not so happy that she came back. She wanted her to be admitted. So she asked my aunt to go away and to let me just stay with my mom. So that in case of anything, we'd take her to the hospital. So I remember that night, she didn't sleep. We didn't sleep. We were just the two of us in the house. Then she was crying and begging God, my children, why am I dying? So I didn't realize it was that serious. She would wake up and tell me, please, I need you to carry me on your lap. I would hold her, then put her back to bed. And then we actually cried the whole night. It is one night I want to forget for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And so in the morning, she said she still wanted to go to work. Her desire was that we be in school. We don't drop out of school because she's not working.
Yeah.
And she realized if you didn't go to work, then she would be sacked or anything would happen. And so in the morning, when she wanted to go to to work, I had warmed some water for her. She went to the bathroom. And she didn't stay. Like 2 minutes, I had a commotion in the bathroom. She was calling my name, Baton.
Yeah.
And so I came running. But then my cousin had come around. So he actually got to the bathroom before me and locked the door behind me.
Yeah.
And so by the time I got to the door, it was locked. So I started screaming and banging the door and calling out, Mom. Nobody was answering me.
Yeah.
So after like 2 minutes, my cousin told me, wait, I'm going to open. So he actually opened. By the time I opened, I found my mom lying on the floor, unconscious.
Yeah.
And so I started screaming. But my cousin told me, no, don't scream. So we took her back to the house. We put her on bed. Then my cousin started making some calls, calling Paul to come, her boss to come so that we can take her to the hospital. And so I remember I actually screamed and shouted and called her name. Then she actually woke up. Then I told her, I want to take you to the hospital. She was crying, no. There is somewhere I want to go. She was pointing the wall. There is somewhere I want to go. And so we actually took her to the hospital eventually. But then on the way to the hospital, she didn't want me to look at her. I didn't know why. But then she was telling my aunt, I wanted to go somewhere last night.
Yeah.
And this boy has kept holding me back. So then we realized she actually would have died that night. There was a problem.
Yeah.
She was not in her right state of mind. And so we took her to Kenyatta Hospital, we admitted her. By the second day, she was, we went to see her the third day. The second day she was still not so good, but the third day she was okay.
Yeah.
So when we get to the hospital, the church members had come, even the pastor had come. So she called me, but on how old are you? I told her I'm 14 years. Called the pastor, tell this boy not to cry. I'm now okay. I'm healed. So I didn't know what she meant.
Yeah.
So we agreed that the following day would go and now discharge her.
Yeah.
My sister, I have one sister. She had not come. She was still in school.
Yeah.
So by the time that Friday, I remember she had actually come. So I didn't go to the hospital because we didn't have enough money for us to go to the hospital, even for bus fare.
Yeah.
So now my sister tells me, when they went, they had my mom screaming right from the stairs of Kenyatta Hospital. She was just screaming, Mom, Mom. So when they got to the ward, my aunt and my grandmother rushed to call the doctor to come and see her. But then my mom was just waiting for my sister. Immediately they remained, the two of them. She died on the spot.
Wow. Yeah.
And so now life, that's now how my life changed. I was giving that background so that you understand.
Yeah.
So we actually had the funeral, we took her home, we buried her at her mom's place. And then I went back to school. So I did my Form 4. My aunt took over the paying of the school fees.
Yeah.
She paid for me Form 3 and Form 4. Immediately she finished paying, she lost her job.
Yeah.
She used to work in South Africa. Because she had told me, you're going to go to the university
Yeah.
now to pursue my career of a journalist or a lawyer.
Yeah.
So after I realized I was not going to any college or university. So I finished and went back to see my grandmother, to stay with my grandmother at home. And so I used to work on people's shambas. I would go in the morning, then I would be paid 7 shillings per day. Yes, per day.
Per day.
Yes.
Wow.
And you've been working the whole day on the shamba. So my aunt, another aunt of mine came, took me to Eldoret, took me to college. Then I did IT, diploma in IT, and of course I was very good in English. By the time I finished, when I was in Eldoret, there was still another problem.
Yeah.
I didn't have money for upkeep. The clothes I'd been using, I'd outgrown them. And so another aunt of mine called me to come. No, I used to, first of all in Eldoret, I used to burn charcoal, go to people's chambers and work and carry logs and dig trenches. Yes, proper hustling. Someone could just be seeing me today here, you're saying, Baton King, welcome, and they think I just emerged from somewhere. No, we've been here for some time. And so I came to Nairobi to work as an untrained teacher.
Yeah.
I went to another school in Wangige called Msani Ascent Children's Center. So I would teach English and computer. Around that time, I had some documents from my mom's things. I had picked her boss's number. So I actually looked for him. He was called Mr. Howard. So I looked for him. He told me, do you want to go to school or do you want me to give you a job? I told him I want the money. I'll take myself to school. It is the money I want.
It's the money I want. Yeah, for school.
I'll sort out school. So he actually gave me the job.
Yeah.
I went to work in Mlolongo. I worked with Safaricom and DHL, customer care.
Yeah.
So I used to do those things. Then I started telling myself, if this man, because he was my godfather at work, if this man ever leaves, I will lose this job.
Yes.
And true to my word.
Yeah. When he left, you lost your job.
I prophesied. And so, I should tell you this. First, before I lost my job, my sister was still in school. I mean, because of the issues that we had, she ran away and got married.
Yeah.
So by the time she was due, I was getting my first salary. And so she had actually gone back to my grandmother's. Then they delayed because, it is uko mashambani and what have you.
Yeah.
So by the time I'm getting my first salary, I also got a message from home. Your sister was due, but we delayed. Her days were due, but we delayed. So the child died in the womb. So she had to do an operation. So I received my first salary out of it and just sent. Because now I had become a parent to her. We had become parents to each other. I'm just saying this because I know there is an orphan watching today and they might be going through some tough situations. I want them to know that God is still on your side. And one day you're going to testify like I'm doing today.
Amen.
And so my mom's boss left. I lost the job.
Lost the job.
Now I started hustling in that store area. I would go. In fact, today when I was coming, I was driving through the roads that I used to walk, and I was just saying, "Oh God, thank you so much."
Yeah.
Because I remember how I used to go, and you'd give your ID at the gate. Sometimes you're told there's no job, you go back home. Then I was staying in Mlolongo those days. I would walk all the way from GM, those who know, all the way to industrial area.
Yeah.
And it was a tough season for me. And so, but even with that, I used to work very hard, even at work.
Yeah.
I was the youngest, I was the smallest,
Yeah.
but very diligent in my work. And so around that time, I was hustling and what have you. So I passed by Mlolongo. I was just walking around on a Saturday evening. I had people singing, "God will make a way where there seems to be no way." I was looking for that way.
That is
So
the
I
way
said,
you were looking.
this is what I was looking
Yeah.
for. They were singing so nicely. So I was attracted to church through worship. So I joined the church. Since my mom was alive, we used to listen to gospel music, choirs from Tanzania and what have you. But I hadn't given my life to Christ. I hadn't confessed. So I joined the church. I now got born again properly. Then I said, I cannot just sit in church. I want to serve somewhere.
Yeah.
Then I said, I'm going to join the praise and worship. I didn't have any voice. I just used to make maybe joyful noise.
A joyful noise unto the Lord.
That's all I had. But then
Yeah.
I joined the choir anyway, the praise and worship. So my teacher liked me because of my